What's the most unfair thing that happened to you, but you got over it? The promotion. I've always believed in fairness. Work hard, stay out of drama, show up on time, and you'll get what you deserve. At least, that's what I believed, until I learned the hard way that sometimes doing everything right still gets you shoved to the bottom. It all began 4 years ago. I had been working in the finance department for nearly 7 years. I was the guy who never missed a deadline, who trained the newbies, who stayed late to help the team catch up during quarterly closings. You'd think someone like that would be appreciated, right? Wrong. A manager position opened up. My manager, actually, who had moved out of state for family reasons. I had already been unofficially doing half her job for months. So when the position opened, I thought, finally. I prepped for the internal interview like my life depended on it. I made charts, reports, even pulled data to show my leadership contributions to the team. But when the announcement came, it wasn't my name in the email. It was Olivia. Olivia had been with the company for barely a year and was charming in the way a politician is. All smiles, big words, minimal action. I had trained her when she first joined. She'd ask questions with a notebook out, but I'd catch her scrolling on her phone 5 minutes later. Still, I answered everything politely, thinking nothing of it. Apparently, she'd been having lunches with upper management for weeks. Casual conversations, she said. Networking, she called it. She'd even struck a friendly rapport with the VP, someone known to promote people he clicked with. I was livid, but I kept my face neutral when I congratulated her. Everyone else in the department, though, looked just as shocked as I felt. Whispers floated around about how unfair it was. Some even approached me directly. That should have been you. But you know the worst part? A week after taking over, Olivia called me into her office and asked me to continue handling some of her old tasks, on top of mine. You've got the experience, she said, and you're so good at them. I forced a smile. Sure, whatever helps the team. But inside, something snapped. I didn't quit. I didn't throw a tantrum. I knew if I was going to fix this, I had to be smart. So I bided my time. Olivia, it turned out, had bitten off more than she could chew. She liked the power but didn't have the follow through. She was disorganized, often late to meetings, and relied heavily on me to keep the department afloat. The higher ups didn't notice at first. Her charm blinded them. But her incompetence was slowly becoming visible to those who mattered. She'd ask me to prep her presentations, double check her reports, and cover meetings she couldn't attend due to personal appointments. I kept records of everything: emails, texts, requests. Every spreadsheet she claimed as her own that I created, I saved in a private folder with timestamps. At the same time, I started saying no more often, politely but firmly. When she asked me to finish a financial forecast the night before a board review, I said, I can help, but I'll need you to provide the assumptions first. She fumbled. The board presentation flopped. Her slides were vague. Leadership wasn't impressed. Slowly, her credibility cracked. Here's the thing. People notice when you're the one keeping everything together. My coworkers knew I was the backbone of the team. When Olivia was absent, I led. When she was present, I translated her half-baked ideas into something workable. So I started helping my colleagues more directly. I showed them how to automate reports, analyze data, and simplify workflows. I never bragged about it, but I made sure they had what they needed, and they appreciated it. A few months later, one of them nominated me for an Internal Excellence Award. I won. Olivia tried to act thrilled during the announcement, but her eyes told a different story. She hated that I was gaining traction. Meanwhile, I started mentoring one of the interns, Nathan. He was sharp and eager. With my guidance, he became a star within weeks. Funny enough, Olivia tried to claim credit for his progress until Nathan corrected her in a meeting. Actually, all credit goes to my mentor. He's taught me everything. Heads turned toward me. I just nodded with a small smile. The final straw came during a high-level review. Olivia had prepared a presentation for the executive committee, a strategic roadmap based on projected growth. Except, she didn't make it. She used outdated numbers, missed a major data trend, and worst of all, she copied sections from a report I had sent her, but hadn't understood what they meant. When the CFO asked a question, she gave a completely wrong answer, one that could have led to $1 million error in budgeting. That's when I stepped in. Actually, I said, standing, if I may clarify, What the report indicates is a projected downturn in Q3 due to external cost pressures, not growth. We adjusted our modeling last week to reflect the new data. Everyone turned to look at me. The CFO nodded. That aligns with the memo I got from procurement. Thanks. After the meeting, Olivia pulled me aside. You embarrassed me. I looked at her calmly. I saved you. She stormed off. I knew the iron was hot. It was time to strike. I requested a private meeting with HR and the VP of Finance. Not to complain. No, I came with facts. I calmly walked them through how I had supported the department, including Olivia, for over a year. I showed them the documents, the reports, the presentations, all time-stamped, all proving I had been handling key responsibilities without the title or the pay. I didn't demand her removal. I simply said, I want to formally be considered for any senior role that becomes available. I believe I've earned that chance. The VP looked thoughtful. HR seemed surprised. We'll discuss and get back to you, they said. What I didn't know then was Olivia had already been under scrutiny for a while. I wasn't the only one who had complained, apparently. Her last 360 feedback reviews had been poor. She'd been written up twice for tardiness and missed deadlines. 2 weeks later, an email hit everyone's inbox. Team update, leadership change. Olivia had decided to pursue other opportunities. No warning, no farewell party, just gone. Guess who was announced as the interim manager? Me. The transition was smooth. Everyone was relieved. My team respected me. I led with transparency and clarity. Morale improved, and within 3 months, I was made permanent. But I didn't stop there. I brought in training programs, cross-department collaborations, and reward systems. I promoted 2 team members who had been overlooked for years. I turned the department into one of the company's top-performing units. One day, the VP stopped by my office. I have to admit, he said, we should have given you that shot earlier. I just smiled. I'm glad I could prove myself when it mattered. What happened to Olivia? I heard through the grapevine she tried to get a similar position elsewhere. But references matter. Our HR didn't badmouth her, but they were honest when asked. Apparently, she's now working at a small firm as a junior analyst. Funny how things turn around. So what was the most unfair thing that ever happened to me? Being passed over for a promotion I earned while someone else coasted on charm and connections. For a while, I felt invisible, disposable. But I got over it, not by sulking, not by plotting revenge in the shadows, but by being smarter, by building relationships, by documenting everything, and most importantly, by showing up every single day and doing the work. The best revenge is letting your success speak louder than their shortcuts. And mine was a symphony. Like and subscribe. Share if this happened to you or someone you know.